This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer Reaction. What do movies like Backroom and Obsession have in common? Beyond being massive hits for their respective studios. Well, they were directed by people who got their start on YouTube, directing videos based on various themes and so on. Be it comedy or horror, YouTube is where they began. And so it seems that studios are now looking for YouTube for their next hit. I mention this because Siren Head, which began life on YouTube as far as I'm aware, directed by Trevor Henderson, was part of a huge bidding war. 5 studios were bidding for this movie, and it was finally won by Warner Brothers. And I've never heard of Siren Head before The Hollywood Reporter and Bloody Disgusting were commenting on this trend. So I figured, let's find out what all the hype is about. So I'm going to do a reaction to Siren Head, directed by Trevor Henderson. Silent Hill.
Attention photographers. The deadline for the contest has been extended.
I've got both of them in the suspect here on 3rd Street, just. 134, be advised, 92027 is code 6 with the suspect and the victim.
Holy crap! Oh God! Oh God! Run! Run!
One of the people behind the feature film interpretation of that short is Cregger, who directed Barbarians and Weapons. And supposedly they have a take on it that makes it make sense. As it stands, it's an interesting visual effects orientated trailer Trevor Henderson is a creature designer. Siren Head, it's a very odd look, but there's no real story behind this. It's a short as well, so it should be understood. There's no real time, or maybe if the emphasis were changed, there could be a story. But as it stands, there's no real story. So what Cregger and the people who he's working with are going to do is essentially fill in the blanks and add more meat to the bones, so to speak. It could be interesting, though as a special effects reel, Siren Head is interesting, though I'd have to wait to see what this movie is eventually like. And remember, there was a 5-studio bidding war to produce this into a feature film, so clearly there are people who think they can really make this work. And I agree it can, but how you make it work well is the question. The character is so larger than life, literally, that it's kind of hard to make it make sense, at least for me, on the face of it. But then again, as I said, I've never heard of Siren Head before now. The character has apparently been around for a while, so people have had time to build lore around it, and I think that's important. Though what do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. If you agree, disagree, let me know down below. And as usual, consider a like, follow, or buy me a coffee. Peace.